It's been 6 months since we purchased the new, now 2023, but this is a 2022 Subaru WRX, the BB chassis. I was going to run over some things I really like about the car and some things I don't like so much about the car. As a daily driver, our 2022 Subaru WRX RS ticks most of the boxes we need in an all-round package. It's still one of the few manual all-wheel drive performance cars that you can currently buy, but there's always room for improvement. One thing I like about this car, the engine is extremely tractable. Like 2000 RPM, it goes. It doesn't have any lag, not like the EJ motors were a bit laggy. These ones make peak torque at 2000 RPM. It doesn't really matter what gear you're in, if you just roll into it, it's got pretty good transient response, I guess you could call. It's on boost straight away. However, it needs a bit more poke out of the factory. It would have been nice if it were closer to, say, a Golf R in terms of power, maybe 320 horsepower or thereabouts, instead of its current 270. As you might have seen in our last video, we had it on the dyno, and for the majority of its rev range, it's making under 10 PSI. It only really spikes up over 10, sort of past, say, 5200 RPM. So you can tell there's a lot of scope for tuning. From all reports, it's a Garrett G22 60 turbo, which is perfectly sized for some boost scope. We've seen these turbos make around 400 wheel horsepower on other cars, and this has already been proven in the States on this new WRX. Saying that, their 400 wheel horsepower is probably closer to 350 out this way. Cobb has recently released tuning software for these, and tuners are already making north of 400 wheel horsepower. However, they are probably at about the limit of the factory fuel system on a mixed ethanol blend. Still, on a factory turbo, this is quite good in terms of satisfying most owners. But how does that equate to straight line performance? There haven't been too many trying their hand at the drag strip. The best time to date I've seen, from memory, is an 11.2 at 125 miles per hour in manual form. That's not too bad considering the tuning software was only just released. Now obviously these cars are a lot more at home in the corners than in a straight line, but it's one of the few metrics most people can relate to. If I said my car had run a 1:28 lap time around Sandown Raceway, that's not going to mean much to many people. These cars handle pretty good out of the box. They're pretty flat. They don't have a lot of body roll, but you know, you can always improve that. So this is running some prototype Shockworks uprights. The steering is so much sharper, so much responsive, but it's also way more compliant. I reckon it handles the big, like if you go over a bad bump like a pothole, I think it handles it far better than it did out of the factory. That was a bit of a gripe. Out of the factory, it felt like the front end was a little bit of a pogo stick type feeling. We've used Shockworks in a few of our cars. They are very good quality, and being engineered local to us, Shockworks were able to set the alignment as well. We are currently running around negative 2.5 degrees camber in the front end. I think this is a great balance between a car that handles well, but it's totally compliant in terms of being a daily driver. You've got no harshness like you might get, you know, like you might have an older car and you sort of think, oh, the rear LSD really works, factory LSD works well mid-corner. It sort of pulls the car around, and I think this is the first time I've been in this car with the Shockworks and better tyres. It actually feels a lot better. Another change we've made since then is for a set of lighter cast wheels. We went with some Wedsport TC105X units. They suit most Japanese cars. I did toy with the idea of putting silver wheels on it, but yeah, because of that plastic wheel cladding, I think there's a reason why Subaru put dark grey wheels on them. A bit wider, 18 by 9.5 plus 45, so they feel the guard's a bit nicer. Running a 255/35 tyre. I will be ordering some centre caps. It's a little bit disappointing that you buy, say, a $3,000 set of wheels and you've got to pay another $300 for centre caps, but it is what it is. I will be ordering those. I kind of forgot about it when I ordered it and I never got around to doing it. This time we selected the Bridgestone Potenza Sport tyre. They sit above the RE00 street tyre and below their RE71 street track tyre, which we currently use on our Lancer GSR. We've used Bridgestone and Michelin on quite a few of our cars and been happy with both brands. I'm always open to trying new tyres, and so far these have been quite good in both dry and wet conditions. Most cars, as you know, if you change wheels, tyres and some basic suspension mods, it'll transform a car, any car. But when you've got a car that already handles pretty good, yeah, it's even better. The guys at the Auto Innovation Centre scaled the car factory stock, and with a full tank of fuel, it was 1,595 kilograms or 25 pounds, which was a bit heavier than what I was hoping for. However, it's pretty normal. Everything has gotten bigger and heavier the last 10 years. I didn't buy this car to keep it standard, so initially my first thoughts were I'm going to put wheels, tyres and suspension in it. And at the time there was no tuning solution, so I thought I'll sit on that for a while. The Americans have got them, let them, you know, they're Subaru engines, yeah, they're probably going to blow up, so let them blow a few up and see where the limits are. But yeah, guys are pushing 400 wheel horsepower through these so far. I haven't really heard too many people having engine problems. However, there has been a few issues to do with the oil pickup. Unless you follow Subaru groups on social media, you wouldn't know about the concerns people are having over assembly sealant being found in the oil pickups. This first showed up on the BRZ NA FA24 engine, and when I saw that, I knew it would be the same on these turbo variants. Every one of these I've seen people have pulled off, there's been sealant in it. What this means for any long-term issues, who knows, but it's not a great look. I haven't pulled mine off yet, but I would prefer Subaru to do it, so it's logged with them accordingly for their records. Right, now for a few things that I don't really like about this car, and we'll start with this screen. Now it might look flashy, it's nice and big, but realistically it does not need to be this big. So let's say for example, we want to turn the air conditioning on, we're driving. Okay, you hit the air conditioning button. Now for starters, normally if you hit the air conditioning and you've got buttons, you just go bang, turn knobs. You know it by feel. You don't need to look at it once you've been driving the car. Even I've been driving this for 6 months, you've still got to take your eyes off the road, hit that air conditioning button, right? Now if you want to change it from, you know, fresh air coming into the cabin to like recirculate, you'd think that'd be a recirculate button next to it, but no, it's not. It opens up that screen. So now we've got another screen. So now we've got to hit this again. Now, trust me, I don't do any of this while I'm driving now. The only time I adjust the climate control is when I'm stationary at the lights. Even to change the fan down here, you're sort of taking your eyes off the road. You know, this isn't a problem just on these Subarus. It's quite common on new cars, but I don't get it. It's just like, you know, say we've got to keep up with Tesla who've got a nice fancy screen in the middle of the car. It's all BS. Like, I would rather have, like in our Yaris, just have half a screen here. So as you can see from our first video, we have done a little bit of aesthetics. Lowered it thanks to Shockworks. We've got the new Wed Sport rims, look a lot better. But one thing that's pretty depressing are these factory brakes. They're fine for daily duties, but when you come from having several cars with good brakes, these aren't that good at performance driving. This isn't a light car, so you don't have to brake that hard to feel the ABS starting to bite. So like if you're doing a track day, I don't think you'd be wanting to do more than one lap with these. Some people have said buy some new pads. I don't really want to waste any money on them. I'm definitely going to do a brake upgrade, but would prefer them to still fit under the standard size wheels if possible, so we may be a bit limited there. Our last WRX, the Black Bug-Eye, had STI brakes, and with some good pads they were great. Obviously everyone has an opinion on those wheel arches. A lot of people have said go paint them, and some people do paint them. Personally, I'd rather spend that money on making the car perform better. If it bothered me that much, I wouldn't have bought the car. It is odd, I completely agree, it's odd. Any money I'll spend on this, realistically, it's got to make the car drive better from a braking, handling, and acceleration point of view. I recently took it on an 1,800 kilometre work trip, and it was good. I think I overtook around 100 Land Cruisers, and even on the longer driving sessions, I never got out of the car feeling uncomfortable. You'll see on the dash here, you've got this, essentially you've got a check engine light on. Now that is because that warning is saying the tyre pressure sensors, I can't read them because I've got aftermarket wheels on it. I didn't really want to change the sensors and put them in these other rims because I will use both rims. Anyway, so I left them thinking, I'll just buy another set. They wouldn't cost that much from Subaru. Have a guess how much they are just for the sensor. $472. Oh, you think $472 a set? I can handle that. No, $472 each. Each. You could buy a set of wheels for that. If anyone knows, I was going to try and see if I could get an aftermarket, like a third party. If there's something around I can put in these wheels. If not, I'm just going to have to get the sensors out of the factory wheels and stick them in these. So after 6 months of ownership, am I still happy? Yeah, I am. I mean, as a daily driver, it does most things pretty damn well. At the moment, with the way the new car scene is, I mean, what else can you really buy in this price bracket that's manual, all-wheel drive, which is sort of what I wanted. At the end of the day, I'm a bit of a 90s JDM boy, so I'd rather use that money and buy another car. Another 90s car, what do you think? Thought about buying another GC8, maybe you guys can tell me what to buy. I'm not buying an AU Falcon. We'll do some more mods to it, like I said. I'd definitely like to hot it up a bit. This makes about 170 kilowatts at the wheels standard. I think realistically, you could easily get 250 kilowatts at the wheels without doing a heap to this car, which is pretty good, and at that power level, it should be fairly reliable, you'd hope, is a Subaru once again. Another 90s car could be on the card, so I think I'd rather buy another car and just keep this one for a while. A month or so ago, I put the stock wheels back on. I was driving it was about 41, 42 degrees Celsius at like 115 k's an hour for hours on end. The tyre pressure's got up to 46 psi. You imagine how hot the road was. The road would have been like 70 degrees.